So our weather is looking fantastic all the way through really early next week. Now, off the East Coast, if you're heading out this direction, you need to keep an eye on things. An area of low pressure is going to develop and bring some rain and wind and high tides off towards the East Coast, down towards South Carolina and North Carolina. You could see somewhat of a broad spin in here already this morning with it being broad in nature. This is not tropical at the moment, and it's more than likely never really going to become tropical, but could try to get those subtropical characteristics. Now, with all that being said, at the end of the day, it's still a low pressure, and whether it's non-tropical, tropical, subtropical, however you want to classify it, it doesn't really change the impacts of the forecast. So it's always a good idea not to get hung up on all the meteorological terms. Either way, Hurricane Center giving that low chance that maybe it gets a name. It just doesn't seem very likely. So from Savannah to Charleston to Myrtle Beach to Wilmington, all the way up through New Bern and to the Outer Banks there in the Carolinas, the weather is not going to be very pretty into the weekend. You're talking quite a bit of rain, especially tomorrow. You'll have that strong onshore flow with some gusty winds, and some models even depict that parts of the open waters here could see wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour. Less inland, but still gusty nonetheless, and somewhat squally across those areas. If it did in the off chance get the name, we're talking Arlene is the first one on the list this year. And then Brett, Cindy, if this list looks somewhat familiar, it's the same list we used back in 2017, 2011, and back in 2005. So just remember, every 6 years we use the same list, just certain names get retired. So some of these are familiar. We've had a few Cindys impact us. Hopefully we don't meet another Cindy, and hopefully we don't meet any of those for the upcoming season. By the way, our Eye on Hurricane special, it's an annual thing we've been doing for decades now. That will air next Thursday. First day of hurricane season is on Thursday, June 1st. That's at 6:30 p.m. That's going to be over on Channel 4. You don't want to miss it this year. We've got some great stories for you to get you ready for the upcoming season. There's your